Wow. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the TopCup podcast, a weekly conversational podcast where two buds get together and check out their butts. Fill your cups with a little bit of death in the family. I am your host, John Javier, joined by my lovely coaster, and also co-host, and also just host in general, Daniel Royal. Daniel Royal, say hi.
Hey, hi, Hattie. How you do? How you be?
You might be noticing two things real quickly before we get into the socials. I've been lying to you. This is how my camera's supposed to be this entire fucking time. I didn't know this.
Did you switch it?
On OBS, it is switched. It is correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this. So this entire time, you guys have always seen this camera. Like, I don't even know if I can turn it. I can't. I don't know how. But point is, the other way, the opposite version of this. You know, you've seen it for the past whatever. And I would just like to make a public apology and say, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was lying to you. I'm too dumb to realize for 20 something episodes that, hey, that's not really how my room looks. Fraud?
Who knew?
Fraud.
Yeah.
Big fat phony.
I'm a big fat phony.
I'm a phony. Hey, everybody. This guy's a phony.
So expect my twit longer in the coming days about me apologizing. Yeah. Other than that, another thing you might be noticing is a shorter episode. Is it TopCup? No, it's not. We may not. I don't know if we'll do those anywhere. We'll find out in the future to come. But no.
We may repurpose it.
We may. But as of right now, we are
Brianna her own show.
Experimenting. We are going to be trying to cut up the videos. So that way, I mean, why lie? It's for the YouTube algorithm, you know? It is what it is.
All hail the algorithm.
All hail the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, so here on YouTube, you will now be seeing these videos in more of a 20, 30-ish chunks, probably like one or two per recording day. However, on any podcasting platform that you may follow us on, you will find the full video length there. You can watch the entire thing. They'll be going. I'm pretty sure we haven't quite worked it out, but either that will go live, the full length will go live when the first video drops, or it'll go live after the last video has dropped. Not really sure, because we don't really want to be. I don't know if we want to be like, hey, if you want to watch the second half, you have to wait, until the whole video is out, or if we're just like, hey, this is just so you can listen to it on your own time. We'll see how things go. We'll work it out. Tell us what you think. Leave that in any feedback down below, and tell us if you think this hopefully will work better for you. Because I know it's not always easy to watch or listen to a whole hour and a half or 2 hour long podcast. Granted, a lot of people have way more free time, and there's a nice little convenient. It's not here. It's like over there for you guys, a little scroll wheel that allows you, or toggle wheel that allows you to play at 1.25 or 5 or 2 times the speed, whatever it may be, but you get the idea. Anyways, other than that, if you're here on YouTube, hey, thank you. Consider following us here as well, and if you're on any podcasting platforms, also drop a like, drop a follow, subscribe, whatever they are,
Rate us.
Comment on us. Anything. Or not. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Hit that repeat button. And just throw your phone in the corner.
Yeah, see? Yeah, hey, you don't even have to listen to us. Go to sleep.
We don't.
Play it like take a shower or something. Just something in the background. Mute us. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Daniel, how have you been? This has been a very emotional day for me. At first, I started off when we got on this call. I thought Daniel was lying to me this entire time. I thought his video was flipped. And then it came out that I was flipped. And then, wow.
To be honest, I'm still not sure if I'm flipped.
To be honest, I don't know either. I think I'm correct now. I don't know. I'm hoping. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm right about being wrong this entire time. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I just spent like 2 hours cooking and washing dishes because I was making food for like 2 days. For
Clarification?
not consecutively, but
Right.
I mean like for the next 2 days.
Yeah, there you go.
And my back hurts. And yeah, it's a little late, but we're still putting the nose to the grindstone and seeing how it goes. I've been watching the Twilight series recently.
Edward and
yeah,
Brianna went through all the movies recently.
weird.
Yeah. John and Katie were also watching the movies. Is there a resurgence? I mean, I know
for Twilight.
I know they're going to be making another movie.
Oh God, are they?
From whose perspective? Edward's or Jacob's? Brianna? Brianna's not much of a fan. She doesn't know. I don't know either.
She just watched the movies.
I just remember they were going to do it again.
I'm not a fan either, but it's just like, they're there. I might as well watch them all.
Yeah. No, and I spent my early day fucking waking up at like 8 in the morning so that way we can drive all the way over to like Napa for wine tasting. That was fun. At a castle. It's fancy.
Castle.
Yeah. It's
Very
fancy. I posted pictures and everything to my Instagram for the first time in like a year or two. Shit, I don't remember. I don't use it. I feel like when I was like, I want to post, Instagram was like, who? Who are you?
Who are you again?
Someone,
Do I remember your password?
like, what? History books? Do you remember? But I was gonna say though, you mentioning how you were cooking and making food, like prepping for food, remind me. Yesterday, I was joking with my friend Adrian. He was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to. What is it?" I asked him what he was eating because I heard him snacking on something, and he's like, "Oh, it's like." I thought it was chips or something like that, and he's like, "Oh no, it's this other thing." And I'm like, "Oh, ooh, healthy." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to eat better, you know?" I'm like, "Dude, same." And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I now order from Buffalo Wild Wings 5 times a week." And he's like, "Wait, how is that? What do you mean? It's better. I feel happy with myself and not disgusted and sad about fucking leaves." All right. There, I said it. I like meat.
I got an obscene amount of Jack in the Box yesterday.
I like meat.
It was
This is not real meat. But I have
There's
it.
meat somewhere in there.
Sure, like 1%, right?
Who doesn't love a Slim Jim, right?
Right. Well, anyways,
Olive.
getting on topic.
Olive.
So, is Olive okay?
Yeah, she just likes to scream randomly. It's weird.
Dude, what would you do if she I said we were getting on topic. We're not getting on topic. I'm going to delay real quickly. What would you do if Olive randomly meowed or screams like those goats do on YouTube?
I think it would be great.
It's so past the point that you can't get rid of the cat. So even if it drives you crazy, you just have to live with it. That'd be...
We would have to move.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. Not a lot of people would be too happy.
We would have to move to the woods.
Or, what about if it was loud enough where you guys would obviously hear it and it sounds like a scream to you, but not loud enough for any of your neighbors to hear it? So it's just something that you have to live with.
Kind of like what happens now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not changing the intensity of the scream, just the style.
Just the style. Just getting fancy today.
I think that would be
learning.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Anyways, topics, getting on topics. Few things. Gonna shoot through some stuff. Comic-Con happened. Who knows when? Because we don't like
At
dating.
home.
Yeah, we don't like dating these episodes. Though, really, honestly, if you just listen to half the topics that we talk about, you can usually guess. But yeah, so Comic-Con happened. We got a few announcements, kind of. Honestly, in my opinion, granted, I wasn't super into like keeping up with everything. But it seemed a little lackluster this year. Maybe it was due to the COVID and not being able to really be there in person, you know. But yeah, we still got a few announcements. Daniel's going to be talking about that. Yeah, on my side, all I got was a camera announcement, and it's really nice, and I want to spend all my money on it. Daniel, buy my camera so I can buy it, please. Thank you. Okay. So yeah,
I am not gonna buy your camera.
I will give it to you.
I'll buy a camera, not your camera.
I will give you my camera on loan.
You want to give it to me and then just tell Brianna that I bought it from you?
I'm okay with that. She doesn't watch these episodes. She won't know.
It's the
Sealed.
plan.
It's the perfect plan. Yes. It'll still be mine, but you get to use it, you know?
Sure.
Yes. But yeah, so Daniel, what happened at Comic-Con? Well, what were some new things? I know the only thing that really stood out to me was the Zack Snyder stuff about the Justice League. We got to see a little look at what Henry Cavill would look like in the black suit Superman, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it was
Pretty sexy.
I don't want to say announced, but it was like stated that none of the Josh Whedon, that's his name. Okay, I'm just making sure I pronounce all their names.
Joss.
No, Joss. Okay, Joss Whedon.
Joss.
None of his footage was going to be in this new cut. The Snyder cut. Yeah, I guess that works. So yeah,
it was pretty intense when Zack Snyder, the director of the Snyder Cut, the original director of Justice League movie. It was pretty intense when he was talking about it, because he's like, I'd sooner burn everything down before putting before showing a scene of Whedon's movie attached to mine.
Did he really not like it? Fuck.
Like,
okay.
Jesus Christ.
Like, honestly,
he
though,
does not like it.
Apparently not. But like, honestly, as a fan, would you really want it? You know, would you want to see what? I mean, if it doesn't add to the story, you know, do you really want to see something you've already essentially seen?
I mean, not really. I mean,
so
with some liberties. But like Zack Snyder's already like, he's already been like, in regards to like continuity and stuff, he's like, the Justice League movie that you guys got is outside of the DCEU like timeline. It's basically not canon. It's like a what if story.
Damn, that's kind of fucking harsh.
And then they're like doing reshoots and stuff and finishing digital effects and everything.
That's fucking harsh.
We got that showing of Henry Cavill Superman in the black suit, which was talked about when the movie first came out and thought about, and he looks good.
So like what? Good. That's like your original father coming in.
Where are you going? Where are you going with this?
To the stepfather and being like, I know he was your daddy for a bit, for longer than me. So like something happened, you know, there was a split. Dad couldn't be there, you know, the OG father. And he's like, look, I know he was your father for a long time. I know he's the one you looked up to for a bit. Maybe you had some problems with him. But I'm your real daddy. He doesn't count.
Daddy?
No. Because that's how it sounds. It's like, hey, like, cool. I know you guys have lived with this like movie for so long, but nah, doesn't count.
Nah.
I'm back,
Forget
baby.
all that shit.
Forget all that happened. I'm more important. I'm what you're here for. So
and it's so funny because like 2 movies have already come out afterward, and then we already have lined up Wonder Woman, the second Wonder Woman movie, And then I think production for Black Adam starts sometime soon. So it's like we already had Shazam, we already had Fraggle Rocks. What am I thinking about?
Batman?
There's another one after Shazam. Unless Shazam's
Flash?
the end. Oh, no, it was Aquaman and Shazam.
Okay.
Since Justice League came out, we've gotten Aquaman and Shazam. Two great. Oh, I was thinking of Joker, but it's not part of the DCEU.
I mean,
But who knows with the multiverse?
those movies don't really mention Justice League all that much, right?
No, I mean Aquaman did.
Briefly, though.
And briefly, yeah,
Yeah.
it was barely touched upon. And then Shazam didn't. No,
The
they didn't.
only thing they did was like at the end. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Superman kind of appears. Kind of.
Yes, sort of a Superman cameo. And it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I mean, like those movies even kind of try to be like, hey, let's pretend this didn't exist. You know. So okay, it works. The other thing I was gonna say, what about the Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Oh, I didn't see anything about that.
Is that still going to be a part of the DCEU though?
I think it was supposed to be part of like this weird new continuity that's happening. Because it kind of seems like post Justice League, they're like, okay, Aquaman did awesome. Everybody still loves Wonder Woman, so we're getting another one. And Shazam, everybody fucking loved. We're gonna take a chance on this Joker movie. Holy shit, people fucking love the Joker. I think we better just stick with one-shot movies.
And Birds of Prey did really well.
And stuff. Oh right, Birds of Prey. Yeah, that's the other one I was trying to think of. Yeah.
I mean, Suicide Squad was also really good for the most part. People just didn't really care much for Joker.
Suicide Squad was pretty trash.
I thought people liked it.
I'm gonna stand by that.
Okay, well,
It was
that's
a
your
bad movie.
That's your
It was-
personal opinion.
I mean, we can take this to the streets, John.
Hey, Suicide Squad was good for two reasons. Margot Robbie and
Barely.
Will Smith?
Yeah, I think that's what you're going for. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's why.
Don't get me wrong. I liked Will Smith's Deadshot somewhat, but
Really? I thought it was way better.
It still had its problems. I hated Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in that because they so very harshly mistreated the character.
That's fair.
And then they rebounded with Birds of Prey, and she is on-screen Harley Quinn for me now.
Yeah. No, I get that. I just meant like in the sense that
Live
like
action.
like those were the only enjoyable bits. Any interaction with Harley Quinn and then any interaction with Deadshot, because really those are the only characters most people gave a shit about, because once we saw Joker we were like, no, let's pretend that this scene isn't happening. Anyways, okay. I mean, I wanted to act like I'm surprised about the Robert Pattinson being like a completely different thing, but I'm not, because DC likes to create new continuities every 5 months. So fuck, who cares at this point?
Hey man, it's all part of the vast multiverse.
Sure, that's their cop out for everything. Hey man, sales weren't good. Multiverse. But yeah, what did get announced, which was something kind of cool and relatively unique, was Batman, an animated movie, Death in the Family. Daniel,
Yes.
what made it so special? Take it away.
Ooh. Remember that Mewtwo episode? Do you guys remember that Mewtwo episode?
Now, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the
Welcome to part
Mewtwo
two.
episode that they got to see, or the ones that I deleted / they got corrupted? The ones that you were saved from, really?
No, so I okay, to start off with, yes, DC announced, or at least their animation department announced that they were going to release Batman a Death in the Family animated movie. I saw that headline and I immediately went to the fucking trailer. And it showed the same kind of animation as their previous movie, Under the Red Hood, which came out in 2010, which was a very great Batman movie. One of my favorites, like live action or animated, regardless. It still holds a special place in my heart. I've seen it like 6 times, which is kind of a low ball in it for me, but sometimes just gotta take a break. Anyhow,
seen that movie more than Joel's seen Scott Pilgrim. That's not true.
Oh God, that is definitely not true. So fuck, I need to charge my light. So A Death in the Family is a Batman story about, Jesus, why does my phone keep doing that? Is a Batman story about the death of the second Robin.
Jason. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, Jason Todd.
The second Robin, Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Who was not one of the favorite Robins until kind of this event.
In which
it was kind of a very unique event that happened because the DC kind of left it up to the fans. It's very famous for this type of crazy ass move that DC pulled that was like, is Robin gonna live or die? Call this number if you want him to live. Call this number if you want him to die, which is like a very morbid thought. It's like, damn, are you guys prepared for like if he has to die? Like,
that suck for the original creator of Jason Todd.
Oh yeah.
Just be like, is he gonna live or die? And like, as the original creator, just there going like, well, he's already dead, I guess. Shit.
Fucking leave it up to those animals. He's dead. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So initially going into this trailer, I thought, okay, they're showing clips from the movie Under the Red Hood, which is the following story involving Jason Todd. Just way down the line of him returning as a character named the Red Hood, which is a persona that in some continuities the Joker had adapted previously. Originally, prior to becoming the Joker. If you ever read The Killing Joke, then you know what I'm talking about. By the way, shout out to The Killing Joke. It's just awesome.
It's not for the faint of hearts, but it's really fucking good.
Yeah, definitely not, but it's pretty good. So I thought that, okay, cool. They're just going to go back and tell the story prior to it, even though they kind of already told the story a little bit, but there's it's a pretty thick book. If you ever read A Death in the Family, it's a thick fucking book and a lot of crazy shit happens. The Joker becomes a politician solely because he knows that the only thing standing in his way of his plan is Superman. Think about that. He becomes, well, not a politician. He becomes a diplomat for a foreign country. Okay. So that Superman cannot touch him. He can't be extradited. He can't be hurt without causing an international fucking conflict. And he knows that if the president tells Superman not to touch him, he'll do it. So he becomes a foreign diplomat.
It's a smart move for what
it's a baller fucking move, man. And it involves like Joker's whole plan involves like Jason Todd's mom and stuff, and Jason's like very adamant on finding his mom and everything, and Bruce doesn't want to help him, and he goes and does it anyway. And in spoilers, he gets himself killed. Joker beats the fuck out of him with the crowbar and blows his shit up.
Yep.
So I'm like low-key excited to see this in the trailer, but as
I'm low-key excited to see him die.
As the trailer goes on, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where you see Jason die, and it's actually a really powerful scene because Batman's having to fight his way through this crowd of people, and then he's just on the bat cycle trying to get all the way to where Robin is, and Joker's just beating the fuck out of him with the crowbar, and then eventually Joker leaves, and he's like trying to like crawl to the door. He can't get the door unlocked. And then he like turns around and he just looks at it and he just kind of accepts his fate and the fucking thing blows up. Batman finds him, he's dead. But in this trailer, and I very much advise you to watch it. Once it gets to the part where Batman's about to get to the warehouse where Jason is, it stops and it presents a screen and it just says, I think, fuck, what did it say? Like what happens to Jason Todd, and it gives you like 3 different options. And one's like Batman saves Robin, Robin dies.
Robin cheats death.
Robin cheats death. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck is this? And so as the trailer goes on, you see different different parts of the movie, which is the original movie, under the Red Hood, change. You see different aspects of the movie change. You see Red Robin, who has taken on very, very many incarnations, but the most known is Tim Drake, who is the third Robin. Later on, grows up, much like Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. Tim becomes Red Robin, which real original. Tim, way to go. So it seems in this version, Jason becomes Red Robin, becomes a killer, much in the vein of the Red Hood. Mm-hmm. But it also shows scenes from the original Red Hood movie, and it's all in the same art style. I believe the same cast is coming back. I'm not sure if Jensen Ackles even has to come back, because it kind of sounds like Red Robin is voiced by someone else.
Probably. I wouldn't be too surprised.
But yeah, I mean, I hope Neil Patrick Harris shows up again for that, because he made a hell of a Nightwing. He was super good at it. His comedic timing was great. He was very witty. It was nice. It was nice to see. But it's such an interesting flex on DC's part, because it's taken a property that's 10 years old now. Well, not a property, a movie that's 10 years old at this point, and refreshing it in such an interesting way that we've only seen like some variations of in the more recent years. And it's mainly been on Netflix. Right.
So, and it's interesting because it's like also a way that they're making a interactive movie, which is, I mean, it's been attempted before, not always to great success, but like it is interesting because that's always like a question that people have. It's like, well, how do you make this style of movie like entertaining beyond just the fact that, you know, you're sitting there and enjoying the movie. So it is interesting, like to see like this new concept being tried out, just where it's like, hey, you can kind of play a role and have your own different version of this movie. Your experience might be different based off other people. I mean, I'm sure, all of this stuff is pre-recorded, so you can always rewatch the movie and click something else. I think it'd be really interesting, though, if like, depending on your choices in the movie, kind of like how in a video game, you get those different pop-ups. Maybe you didn't choose this other thing, so you don't get the Robin cheats death kind of option. Yeah, it's either Batman saves him or he dies or stuff like that. Like those are the possible things that you can get, but there's also like some that you can lose if you didn't do this choice. I think that would be interesting. I do understand that would be a little bit harder to like script and get everything done, but like I think it would also be kind of interesting because when it works out good in games, people love that feature. They love having their own unique experience in their game worlds.
Having major consequences to your choices. And the trailer for the movie suggests that. It says like every choice has a consequence. And it's going to be interesting to see how they operate that, because if there's only a certain number of roads that it could go down with every choice, but that number isn't going to be small. So they had to go in, reanimate, recut, reshoot a lot of shit.
Re-script, re-voice.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like the hours of this movie are like collectively have to be at least like 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
at the very least, it's an hour and 12-minute movie. The original Under the Red Hood.
Depending on how varying, depending on how varying scenes are, yes. Mm-hmm. But if it's like, because some scenes could easily just be, the only difference is like they say one thing, or it's like one line of dialogue, which again in animation, and even in movies, in that regard, it's not 1 minute or one line. It might have taken 5-10 minutes to actually film all that and get it all down. But, you know, you get the idea. Or some scenes with the same choice, they could be the same thing. You know, Robin dies or Batman saves him and Robin cheats death. Some scenes could yield the exact same result. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting way that they're going about this, because we've talked about this on the show before. Their most recent animated universe has very recently ended with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Which, Jesus fucking Christ, if you haven't seen that shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fucking ride.
Yeah. I my only critique from that movie was just the, you know, Deus Ex Machina kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
where it's like Flashpoint.
Yeah, like without major spoilers or anything, like, yeah, they kind of have a card up the sleeve, and honestly, to be fair, it was the best fucking choice. It was the only outcome.
Yeah. No, like, okay, don't get me wrong. In terms of resetting things, yes, that makes sense. But I want studios, games, movies, whatever, to honor the shit that they're making. That's one of my main things, where it's like, hey, if you're going to do this, don't just, you know, play the reverse Uno card and just be like, ooh, we Gucci. No, like I want to see this world where everyone's half cyborg. No one's ever alive. And shit like that. Everyone's depressed as fuck. The world is dead. You know, I want to see it. I want to see like how these heroes go about, who hangs it up, like who hangs up the capes, who doesn't, you know, like how it turns in some storylines, shit like this turns heroes into villains. I want to see that. I'm interested. And I'm not, yeah.
Honestly, to be to kind of just play into DC's obsession with the multiverse, what happens at the end of that movie doesn't necessarily mean that world is gone.
Yeah, of course.
It just means that we as viewers are going to get something different.
Yeah,
and they're not really going to touch back on that.
And
that version of the world.
That's the thing, you know. Like, there's some people that might like that, and it's kind of like anime, where it's like, will we get a second season? I don't know. And that's kind of like,
need a second season? I don't know.
No, but there are some fans that would just like to see it, and I think that's the main thing when it's like, when you do things like this, it's like, there are some fans that are probably going to be out there that are like, hey, I would like to see like what you would do with that world. But now we have to wait for some small little creator or like little studio property of DC to be like, oh, we're going to continue that world. That's it. And like I said, it's not the worst. I get why they do it, but it would be nice for studios and all of them to be like, no, fuck you. This is the world you're getting. This is what you're going to have to live with. But every single time something happens. Superman revealed his identity. It didn't matter. Spider-Man revealed his identity. It didn't matter. Superman's dead. Nope. Half of him is dead. He lost his powers for a day. Like, shit like that. Like, it's just like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the only people that kind of hold to the shit end up being like Barry Allen disappearing for 25 years real time and then coming back, you know?
Only because he did well in TV and shit like that, and fans were like, "Hey, this guy is actually pretty cool. Why do we have the other guy?"
So yeah, it's very finicky how these things work in the comic world because you got to sell stories and shit. But anyhow, to get back on topic, yeah, this is a really interesting move by DC because I've only seen a handful of choose your own adventure shows / movies kind of things. Like usually... Netflix just released one about Kimmy Schmidt, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, what the
featuring
I remember I saw the first season of that.
Featuring Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I don't know what it's about.
Those always seem like straight to DVD kind of movies, you know?
Yeah.
Right? The ones that do that. Granted, this one is. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah. And it does, it gives off kind of a confusing message because it's like available on digital and Blu-ray, but the choose your own adventure thing is only available on Blu-ray. And it has me sitting here thinking like, well, are you going to put it on DC Universe? Your streaming service, and is it going to be available on there? Because it's totally possible. Look at Netflix. Netflix has been doing it with Puss in Boots for the longest time. They did Black Mirror Bandersnatch like a year and a half ago, which was, if you haven't watched / played through that was really fun.
I will admit, only Netflix and Hulu know what the fuck they're doing with their properties. That's it.
Yeah.
DC, no. Like, they constantly have shit where they're like, this is the one-stop shop for all your things. Fuck. DC. And then what do we see? Shit that's on Sci-Fi that you can't even watch on DC. Like fucking Harley Quinn, which is really good and not for kids, but it's so fucking good. Like stuff like that. And then you have this other one where this may not come to DC. I don't know. I just, it sucks. And then you have like Disney over here where it's just like, we have Disney Plus. You can find everything. Really, bitch? Really? We can find everything. Yeah. Everything. That's so. Where's Mulan, bitch? Oh, postponed indefinitely. Awesome. You were 2 weeks away from release. 2. We got fucking Trolls and Scooby. The fuck? You have and guess what? That shit came out to multiple styles. I saw that shit I could have seen it on Amazon. I could have seen that on YouTube. I could have seen that on some other shit. Voodoo. Who knows? Where would I have to go and see Mulan? Disney Plus. And only Disney Plus if they wanted to. And they could capitalize on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. We're still not going to get it.
I still would love to see Mulan for the first time in the theater, but yeah, what you're saying is very true. They could have definitely made a lot of money on that, even if they just put it out on Amazon and then just like a month later, just like they did with Onward, just put it on Amazon. Like a month later, put it on Disney Plus.
Look, it wouldn't be too hard for them to just release everything on fucking on their own respective sites or on Amazon or on YouTube. And then once everything is more or less blown over, then do hey, here is a month-long thing of all the movies that were supposed to come out, but unfortunately weren't. Go crazy.
They probably just want to go for an Oscar run with Mulan and stuff like Mulan and Tenet, which is also indefinitely on hold, which is Christopher Nolan's newest movie. But yeah, I mean, we digress.
Digress.
Yeah, I really hope A Death in the Family ends up being really cool. I can't wait to see it. It's a movie that I hold very close to my heart.
That's one of your favorites, huh?
Yeah, no, Batman movies of all time.
Yeah, because you're really close to the Robins. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that kind of reinvigorated my love for the Robin character. Like, yeah, one of the first comic book movies that I ever saw growing up was Batman and Robin, the Joel Schumacher R.I.P. Movies that were complete trash, but they're still fun to see. And Chris O'Donnell, he has a spot as a Robin in my heart. But then I also saw Teen Titans growing up.
Right, and
Also saw Batman the animated series. You know, like I've the Batman. I've seen countless variations of Robin, but it was this movie that kind of reinvigorated that love for Robin, because I had never seen Robin like that.
Right,
We never ever see Jason Todd in anything, and I fucking dare you to find it. Because you do not see Jason Todd in anything. Why? Because he dies.
that's all he's known for.
That is why. And honestly, I don't know that for sure. But
right,
it's
seemingly
like the biggest. Yeah, seemingly it's because he dies, and he's such a complicated character. He's a very angry out of all the Robins. He is very angry.
Oh yeah.
But he is also one of the coolest fucking Robins. For God's sakes. Batman found him stealing the fucking wheels off the Batmobile. Do you know how fucking insane that is?
And he's also the only one to comparable to him, like detective wise, right? Or am I thinking the other?
No, that's Tim. Tim is more the detective. But
okay.
Like it could be said that going throughout the years, looking at the Robins, they're all kind of the way I see it. Every Robin is kind of a piece of the Batman pie. Right. So Dick is very much like Robin. I mean, very much like Bruce. In his virtue, his drive for wanting to protect people because his parents are murdered.
Right. Morality, justice, sense of justice.
Morality. He's a decent detective. He's an incredible gymnast because he grew up in the circus.
He gets the poon.
He's got the ass when he grows up.
But just saying, Starfire, Harley Quinn.
And he's basically like first pick to be Batman. But when you move on to Jason, he's definitely the anger that comes from Batman.
Right.
The anger and the ferocity and the sheer fucking power behind Batman. Like that is Batman, just that focused fucking rage that is Batman. But then eventually he loses control of that. And then something happens and he's very hot-headed and he takes off to go look for his mom and gets himself killed. Bruce fucking guilt-ridden. And yeah, and then you move on to Tim, and Tim is very much the detective part. He figures out who Batman and Robin were and confronts Bruce and is like, hey,
I want in.
Like, I know who you are. Basically, yeah, I want in. And eventually he earns his spot as a Robin. And then you move on to Damian, who's literally a piece of Batman because he is his son. But that's complicated as well. But we never see Jason because he's such a problematic character that is just fueled by emotion. I think the only thing that I saw outside of the Death in the Family, outside of the Under the Red Hood movie, was a memorial to him in season 2 of Young Justice. Jeez. And even then, it doesn't say Jason Todd. It just says it just shows him.
Yeah.
And it's a memorial thing for the fallen sidekicks. And it's like, well, that's kind of shitty, but I'm happy to see it. You know? Yeah. And then, spoilers for Arkham Knight, we meet Jason at some point in the game. And we also get to play as Red Hood and stuff, with like DLC and stuff. But Jason Todd is finally picking up as a character that we can see, because people know how to handle him and people are just treating him right. He actually got to make his first live action appearance on the Titans show on DC Universe, which is really very cool. It's a very interesting take, but like I think the only problem I have is with the actor, because he just has a weird shaped head and it throws me off.
Wow. Okay.
But respect to everywhere else, because when they show him fight, he is fucking ruthless, and it is good.
That's like where the anger comes stuff.
Up. Yeah. But they very much dive into how how complicated that character is, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love everything about this. I hope it goes really well because I am buying that shit immediately.
I think it'd be really interesting, like a new fun little experience to do with like because like I said, a lot of this always was like straight to DVD titles that like kind of had some traction, but this is like the first time that someone's like doing it with a big name title and franchise and stuff like that. So I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a nice little spin, and I think it would just be if it finds success, I think and we were able to see it in more movies, I think it would be like a fun thing to do. Just like fans create their own stories, the stories that get the biggest traction. Hey, maybe that's the way the movies go, or like the path they follow, or maybe they said fuck you and they just go with whatever one they wanted. But yeah, I think this would be cool. No set release date, right? Or is there?
No, I saw one that said that it might be sometime in 2022, but I think that might be wrong. I'm not sure.
The way things are nowadays, possible.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, but
yeah, no. Blu-ray and digital HD in fall 2020.
Fall 2020. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
right around the corner.
A couple months from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I love this story. It has a special place in my heart. It as a young lad. It introduced me to Jason Todd. It introduced me to the Red Hood. It introduced me to the complex relationship between Batman, who seemingly is just all powerful, and you never really like to at the age that I was, which was what, like 13, maybe 13, 14,
I suppose.
You're not really exposed to the side of Batman that is vulnerable, you know, and that makes mistakes and stuff. Like Batman is just this fucking shadowy force for good and to strike fear in the hearts of evil and stuff. And this movie showed me a completely different side to that, and that he can fail and that there are repercussions for his failures. And that Robins aren't untouchable.
Yeah.
And it also introduced me to the Lazarus Pits. It introduced me to just the story of Under the Red Hood and A Death in the Family, and it very much reignited my love for the Robins. So this holds a very special place in my heart. I have both books, A Death
Somewhere.
in the Family and Under the Hood. No, they're right here. They're thick.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I've seen them.
Death in the Family is like at least that thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do it.
I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, right, guys?
It will.